Historic Lambeau Field will play host to the great matchup between Atlanta and Green Bay. Now we'll head over to Tom Hammond and Chris Collinsworth for the start of the game. Guys?
Well, the weather will be perfect for today's game. Tom Hammond here. Beside me, as always, Chris Collinsworth. How do you see this one playing out, Chris?
We should see both of these teams trying to establish a good balance on offense in this one. Whoever can do that should be able to win this thing.
He's hammered at the 31. You always want to have a successful first drive. It really sets the tone for the whole game offensively. Let's see how they do here. Grant on the give. He's brought down at the 34. Grant gains about 2 yards on the run from their own 34-yard line. Rodgers is in the shotgun. He has 5 receivers split out wide.
Blue 45! Blue 45! Friday! I'm trying to get you over there, baby.
Looking to throw. On the run, he throws it. He's dropped at the 38. A pickup of 4. That'll bring up third down. 4 yards for a first here on third down. Ball on the 38. Defense closing in. Intercepted. He's tackled right around the 38-yard line. Why did he even make that pass?
Yeah, Tom, I think he got baited into that throw. He thought the defensive back was going elsewhere. He did a little fake, came back in, made the pick, just a real heads-up play.
From the 39-yard line. Single back formation, 3 wide receivers. Back to pass. With the throw. There for the reception. And he's knocked out at the 17. And a nice pickup there.
Nice play that time. The defense came with the blitz there. He made a good read, delivered a nice ball in there to the open man.
Tiger! Get that ball back. Here we go, James.
Turner on the run. Tackled around the 13-yard line. Gain of 4. That'll bring up second down. Here's some of the key players on Green Bay's defense. Single back formation, 3 wide receivers. Pitch out. And they get him right around the 10-yard line. 3-yard gain by the running back. They're 10 yards away. Nickel package on defense. Back to throw. Under heavy pressure. Dropped an easy one. The defender gets a hand on it, and that will bring up fourth down.
I don't know if that's the guy I want to pick on third down when you have to have a conversion. He is tough.
Certificate worth $1,000 at the stadium souvenir shop.
Hits the upright, and it bounced the wrong way. Well, it looked like the set down was good. Maybe he lost his footing a little when he went to step into that one. You know, if kickers get out of their rhythm just a little bit, they can really miss a kick badly. So the score will remain: the Falcons, nothing; the Packers, nothing. And he's hammered at the 36-yard line. Everything seemed to work perfectly on that one.
And that's a pattern that this team likes to run. You know they've been studying that all week on film, and yet they still can't stop it.
Looks to pass. Looks to his left. Lays it up there. Oh, and he dropped it. They can't complete the pass, and now the offense will be looking at second down. Second down now with 10 to go. Offset I formation in the backfield. Hands it off. He's tackled at the 44-yard line. Pickup of about 8. That'll bring up third down. Third down now, they'll need a couple of yards to convert for a first down. It's a pass on third and short. Rifles it left. He's brought down at the 48-yard line. Excellent pass by the quarterback on that play.
I'm really enjoying watching the timing between this receiver and the quarterback. We're seeing a well-schooled offense now going to work.
Grant on the give. Tackled around the 45-yard line. Grant gets 3 yards on the carry. 2nd and 7. Ball on the 45. Rogers is back in the gun. Lee in motion. Back to pass. Flips it out short. He's tackled at the 34. And a nice pass to the tight end.
So much of the game today revolves around those substitution packages, trying to bring extra defensive backs on the field to try and help against the pass. But when you have a big receiving tight end, that really makes that plan awfully tough to execute.
Rogers to the air on first down. Looks like he had it, but it's knocked loose. A punishing blow by the defender.
And you know you're going to get hit as a wide receiver. You've got to hang on to those balls, but that was a big shot.
Rogers is under center. 2 backs in the eye. Grant takes it right side. He's brought down at about the 31. A yard, maybe 2 on the carry. Rogers lines up in the gun. He has 3 receivers in the formation. Drops back. Throws on the run. Threw it right to him, but he can't hang on. And the pass was knocked away at the last minute.
Well, at the end of the game, you go back and you basically say what happened on third down, and you have a pretty good indication of how that game came out. Good play by the defense.
Ryan punts it, and he kicked this one pretty well. And this one will go for a touchback. This offense was frustrated after their last drive ended with a missed field goal. And they're coming after him. Tackled at the 24-yard line. Good pocket presence shown as the quarterback was able to get rid of it just before the pressure got to him.
Good patience that time by the quarterback, just checking down to the underneath route, giving his guy a chance to make a play.
Turner on the inside handoff. Looks like we'll see a change of possession. And that was not a good time for a fumble.
Well, there's really never a good time for a fumble, but you can tell that he just got sloppy with that football. He broke down on his fundamentals, and he gave it up.
He drops back. Defense is getting pressure. He's tackled at the 19-yard line. Nice pass for the quarterback on that one with the defense bearing down on him.
Good play design there. Very solid protection. Gave the quarterback time to examine the whole field until he finally found the open man.
The pocket is collapsing. Defender gets his hand on it. The pass was deflected and swatted away by the defender.
I think the quarterback may have had to throw that ball a little sooner than he wanted to. The pressure was starting to get there.
This one appeared to be on the offense.
Full start, offense.
It'll be third down again after that penalty.
You know, third down football is hard enough in the National Football League, but when you start adding yardage onto it, it gets even tougher.
Lead goes in motion. Looking to throw. Throws right. He's dropped around the 15-yard line. They just get enough for the first down.
Pretty gutsy play call that time. Anytime you're in a third and long situation, it is tough to dial up those passes, take a chance trying to pick up a first down. A lot of coaches will just run a draw there. Not this guy. He went for it and got paid off.
It's the fullback. What a hit! And he picks up about 4, and that will bring up second down. They'll go from the I formation.
Come on, make a play. Hey, let's go. Loosen.
Feeds it to the back. He lost yardage on the play. Great read there. It looked like the defense knew the counter was coming.
And a lot of times in that situation, they read offensive linemen. And the minute you see those offensive linemen, sometimes even in their stance, sort of sitting back, you know the counter's coming, you can get penetration and make a play in the backfield just like that.
Drops back. Moves up in the pocket. Tackled at the 10. They're able to complete the pass, but it won't be what they needed to keep the drive going.
So many times in the games today, you see a quarterback settle for those underneath throws, where in this situation, it really is a time to try and push the ball down the field a little bit. Those quarterbacks, though, they don't like to take chances on interceptions, and clearly there I thought he could have taken a little bit more of a risk.
Here's a quick look at the drive summary. Here's the kick. Taken at the 5. That was a great hit. He wasn't getting away from that one. Once again, we'll take this opportunity to remind you that this game is brought to you by the fine folks at EA Sports. Here's the give. He's going to be tackled for a loss. Well, they wind up in reverse that time. Good push by the defense.
And when the defense gets that kind of penetration, it just disrupts everything for an offense. They have to get that guy blocked.
Gains his way to the 36-yard line. Picked up 9 on the play, and that makes it third down. Atlanta is going with the offset I backfield. On play action, rockets it, makes the catch. He's pushed out at the 46-yard line. So on third down, he finds his receiver and gets a big gain.
Receivers who can make plays like that on third down tend to have nice, long careers.
Fakes the run. And they get to him. I have to say they're going to have to protect the quarterback a little better than this, or it's going to be a long game for him.
You got to be kidding me. You can't keep letting your big money quarterback get hit like that. He's going to be out of the game. That's one of those situations the quarterback gets back in the huddle and he starts looking around at the guys like, you want to earn your paycheck today?
Looking to throw. Huge pressure by the defense. He's dropped at the 44-yard line. He gunned that one in there for the first down, didn't he?
He really did, and when you watch a guy throw a ball that hard, they don't move their arm any faster. You see them driving off that back leg. That was a pretty pass.
They'll throw on first down. Throws left. And it's knocked loose. Second down now following the incomplete pass. They'll face second down and 10. Ball on the 44. The Falcons line up with 2 tight ends. The Falcons put a man in motion to the left. He drops back to pass. He throws it. Is there for the catch. Tackled at the 31. A nice-looking play that time.
Yeah, when you see the blitz, you have to understand your own protections, because if your protection is sliding away from the blitz, you have no choice but to get it out of there to the hot receiver.
On the ground with a tailback. And he's decleated at the 30. A gain of a yard, if anything, on the run. They'll face 2nd down and 10. Ball on the 30. The Falcons come out in a single back formation. They hand off on a counter. And he's drilled at the 29-yard line. That looks like a 1-yard gain.
Ouch. You take too many shots like that as a running back, you start peeking around a little bit before you get that football.
Redmond calls for motion right. Looks to pass. Throws out left. Brought down at the 23-yard line. Despite the great effort, it will still bring up 4th. Elam can put 3 points on the board and tie this up if he makes it. Kicks it, got plenty of distance, and that flag was thrown in the area of holding.
Holding. Offense.
It looked like he got a handful of jersey on that one.
Well, you hold with your hands, but more often than not, holding is created by not moving your feet. There, clearly, he didn't get his feet in position, so he had no choice but to hold.
And he got plenty of distance on this one. It's good. That certainly wasn't your average field goal attempt.
And with the way the rules are in the NFL right now, I think that's one of the coach's toughest decisions. Do you just pooch punt it down there, try and pin them back, or go for a long field goal? Boy, that kicker sure helped make that coach look smart there.
They had to settle for a field goal on their last drive. They take the field again, looking to put up another score. 4 wide receiver package out there.
Blue 45! Blue 45! Pony! Hey, inside.
First down, looking to throw. Short throw to the right. He'll be brought down behind the line of scrimmage. They'll lose about 4 on that play.
As a quarterback, sometimes you just have to see a play breaking down and get rid of the football and try it again on the next down.
Middle. Green 88! Big play, Green 88!
Strong throw to his right. He's brought down at the 40. And a pretty smart play call right there.
It really is so much the key to football. You talk all the time about you have to establish the run. Well, there you see why. You establish the run, and then you come with the play-action pass. Just so hard to defend.
They go with the run. He's dropped at the 44-yard line. A 5-yard pickup by the halfback on the misdirection. 2nd and 5. The Packers line up in the shotgun. 4 wide receivers are split out.
That's hot then. We got action, baby.
They give it to the tailback. Brought down at the 50. 4, maybe 5 yards on the run. Atlanta brings in the nickel here. On play action, he's scrambling. They get to it. Perfect time to send in the extra pass rusher on that play, Chris. They timed the blitz perfectly.
Effective blitzing can really destroy an offensive game plan because you're so used to having time to develop plays down the field. Now you come with a good blitz, and the quarterback just doesn't have time to get it off.
Ryan kicks it And man, did he get a leg into this one. The last time they took the field, they were able to come away with 3 points. The offense will start at the 20-yard line. Turner is the deep back as they line up in the I. Little handoff. Cuts back and he's dropped. 3 yards there. That'll bring up second down. 2nd and 7 situation here. Ball on the 23. The Falcons come out in a single back formation. Gives to the back. He's brought down around the 27-yard line. Turner picks up about 4 yards on the delayed handoff. I formation here. Fakes the run. Passes on the move. White was the intended receiver on the play, and it falls incomplete.
Noise-making devices are not allowed inside
the Falcons are lining up to punt this one away. Blackman is back deep to receive. Gets it away cleanly. Blackman takes it at the 33, and they get him at the 39-yard line. Let's see if the offense can put something together on this drive. The Packers come out in the ace formation. Finley in motion. He drops back to pass. Short pass to his left. And he dropped him in the open field. Just about 3 yards there. So that'll make it second down. Green Bay lines up with 3 receivers. Drops back to pass. Throws while on the run. This pass is incomplete, and he just managed to get a piece of it. Nice play by the defender.
And as a receiver, you really have to do a better job of coming back to the football at that point. You have to help the quarterback.
It's 3rd down, 7 yards to go. The Packers line up with an offset I backfield. He didn't get back to the line. Nice job by the defensive end to get in there and get the tackle for the loss.
This guy's really one of the strengths on this defense. Not only is he able to turn the corner and get some pressure on the quarterback, but he's rock solid against the run.
Ryan kicks it away, and did he ever get a hold of this one? They down it at the 3-yard line. Not much the return man can do there.
Yeah, he really did the right thing there. That's just to let it go, get out of the way, and really just give the guy credit. It was a good kick, very fortunate bounce. The last thing in the world you want to do in that kind of a situation is to fumble the football, give it up, short field for the other team, and a quick score.
It's the tailback. Brought down at the 7. He picks up 4 yards on the carry. Redmond is in the shotgun. He has 3 receivers. Drops back to pass. Throws it short. He's brought down at the 13. Nice job getting that pass out of there, and he picks up the first down.
Yeah, smart play call that time by the offense. He could tell by the pre-snap read that short throw was going to be there, and he took advantage.
He looks to throw on first down. And they drop him for the sack. The blitz caused some big problems for them that time.
Yeah, that was definitely not a good play for the offense. I think they were anticipating a blitz to one side. They got it from the other side, and the quarterback ends up getting sacked on the play.
Drops back. Looking for a receiver. And he caught it. Defense pushes him out of bounds at the 10. Turner gains a handful of yards on that reception. Looks to pass. Gets the pass off. Brought down at the 24-yard line. That was a big-time play by the receiver.
And talking to this receiver earlier this week, he told me he had a lot of plays in the playbook, and he thought he was going to have a big day.
They motion to the right. Looking to throw. He throws on the run. He's brought down at the 34. Strong, accurate throw leads to a pretty good gain.
Now, they didn't pick up the first down that time, but you drop back, you make a good throw like that. Now you're in position to try and pick up this first down.
They hand it off. Tackled around the 36-yard line. Turner gets a couple, and that will be good enough for the first. From their own 36-yard line. Turner is the deep back as they line up in the I. Hands it off. Stiff arms, and the defender still makes the tackle. That's a 3-yard gain. That brings up second down. They line up in the I formation. He fakes it. Dumps it out right. Brought down at the 49-yard line. That pass is good for a first down.
And he had some zip on that one, didn't he? He reared back and threw that one about as hard as he could.
The defense is in the nickel. He's dropped at the 47-yard line. The halfback runs for 4 yards. 2nd and 6 coming up here. Ball on the 47. Offset I formation in the backfield. Redmond hasn't missed yet. Throws it. Hit him in the hands, but he can't hang on. What an effort out there. He just got his hands in there and broke it up.
I love watching the closing speed of this defense. When they see the ball, they go get it.
He drops back to pass. Defense closing in. White was unable to make the catch on that pass attempt. The Falcons line up to punt. And they can really put their opponent in bad field position with a good punt here. He gets it away. Down in the end zone for a touchback. The defense played exceptionally well the last time this offense had the ball. First down, looking to throw. Irons intercepts it. To the 10. He's in. Touchdown. What an interception for this defense.
You know, it's bad enough offensively to throw an interception, but you can't let the guy run down the field for a touchdown. You have to turn into a defensive player at that point. They did not make that transition.
They come on the field to attempt the extra point. Kick is up. It's good. Atlanta up 7 points. He kicks it off. Williams takes it at the 4. At the 30. He's tackled at the 32-yard line. The quarterback leads his offense back onto the field after turning it over on their last drive. Atlanta lines up with 5 defensive backs. Grant on the run. What a move! The defender gets him to the ground, and the halfback has nowhere to go. Grant lines up as the deep back, I formation. Back to throw. Gets the throw away. And they get him around the 36-yard line. Lee picks up about 4 yards with the catch. Rodgers is in the gun. 3 wide receivers this time. He's looking to throw. Throws it short. Makes the grab. He's dropped in the open field. Just about 3 yards there.
Boy, that's really a nice tackle on that play. Anytime you get man coverage on the outside against a receiver, you have to be able to make that one-on-one play, and he did it great.
Ryan kicks it, and man, did he get a leg into this one. He fields the punt at the 13. Brought down at the 34-yard line. They gave up way too many yards on the return there, wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, without a doubt. As part of the coverage team now, you've got to free yourself from that blocker as quickly as possible. And if you can't do that, you're going to give up some big returns.
Here's the halfback. And he will lose yardage on the play. The offense had a tough time picking up all their blocks on that play.
You know, you can draw up any sort of protection scheme and blocking scheme that you want, but ultimately this game comes down to one big man against another big man, and that time the defense's big men, they won the battle.
Redmond hands it left. He doesn't get back to the line. Tried the run, but there was nothing available.
And if you can make a running back hesitate just a little, that time you could see there really was no hole, and the running back was just fishing for a place to go.
Back to throw. The pass is away. Batted away. And it'll be 4th down following the pass deflection.
Just terrific play by the defense. They followed the quarterback's eyes, made a quick jump on the ball, and were all over that one.
Gets the punt away. Blackman takes it at the 25. Makes a cut. And he will be hit and dropped.
Personal foul, face mask, defense. First down.
It's 1st and 10. The Packers come out in the ace formation. Finley goes in motion. Fakes to the back. Out of bounds around the 48-yard line. They hook up for a pretty good gain on that one. Nice pass.
Yeah, good pass and good confidence by the quarterback there. He saw the opening. He knew there was a spot that he could get that in there, but you could see he had the confidence to let this receiver make a play, and that's really what pro football is all about.
Tackled right around the 38-yard line. And he has had a terrible day throwing the ball so far.
Well, unless you're playing for the other team, I have no idea what's the matter with him today. He's throwing it right in their gut.
Fakes the run. Gets the pass away. And they get him at the 28-yard line. And a great pass by the quarterback to convert for the first.
And what we're seeing out of this quarterback is a variety of throws. Yes, he has the ability to zip it in there when he needs to, but we've also seen some touch throws, a very complete repertoire.
He's tackled at the 24-yard line. Turner gains about 4 yards on the play. From the 24-yard line, the Falcons go with the I formation. Fakes the run. Gets away. And it's picked off. Nice pick for the safety.
You could see the quarterback that time trying to look the safety off, but this safety is simply too smart. He was having none of it and jumped in front to make the interception.
From their own 13-yard line. Rodgers comes out with 3 running backs in the backfield. They keep it on the ground with the tailback. Tackled around the 15-yard line. Grant picks up 2 yards with the carry. Second down, 8 yards to go. Ball on the 15. Rodgers is under center. Single backfield.
Zebra! Come on, man.
Here's the throw, and it's completed. That was a good-looking throw.
Yeah, great throw, but maybe even a better read. He understood by watching what the defense did after the snap of the football exactly where to go with that ball.
Again, he'll get the call. Dropped behind the line. That was a big-time play by a big-time athlete.
If you want to be considered one of the top quarterbacks in the National Football League, everybody has to be able to cover. But the top guys can not only cover, but come up and make big hits like that. Tremendous play.
On the ground with a tailback. He's brought down at the 29-yard line. That's 4 yards on the play. That'll bring up third down. Atlanta brings in the nickel here. Fakes to the back. He throws right. And they get him at about the 33-yard line. Well, the pass was completed. They'll still be short of the marker.
You know, I just don't like that stuff, Tom. I call that chicken offense. You know, you go out there and you act like you're afraid. You're afraid to throw an interception. You're afraid to go for it down the field. You just settle and you bring the punter out. I don't like that.
Kicks it away, and it's a huge punt. Jennings takes it at the 21. He's tackled at the 34-yard line. It'll be interesting to see how this quarterback reacts after throwing an interception on his last drive.
Watch the ball, watch the ball.
Atlanta lines up in the offset eye this time. Throws out right. Hit hard at the 49-yard line. They pick up several yards there on the pass.
And that fake really was the difference. Not only did the quarterback sell it, the running back sold it, the offensive line did, and the receiver was open for a nice play.
Drops back to pass. He throws a bullet out to his left. Defense pushes him out of bounds around the 41-yard line. That one worked just as they drew it up.
Good pass, good catch, I agree. Sometimes there's really nothing you can do as a defense to stop a well-executed pass play.
Redmond sets up the play action. Picked off. And the defense just picked up their second interception of the game.
There's a lot of good players on this defense. I've really enjoyed so far watching how quickly they break on the ball.
From their own 40-yard line. Rodgers is in the gun. He has 3 receivers.
Keep playing, fellas. Come on, D, let's get off the field now. Friday.
Drops back on first down. Just clanks right off his hand. A great play by the defense to knock the ball away.
And these defenders have been close all day. You better be careful if you're the quarterback. One of those is going to turn into an interception.
Blue 45. Blue 45. Let's get that ball back.
Pitch left. He took a shot at the 46-yard line, about 7 yards there, and so it'll be third down. The offense needs about 3 yards to get the first here on third down. Little handoff. And they get him around the 47-yard line. And he put up a pretty nice run there.
Yeah, that was a big-time carry there. You can tell the coaches have a lot of faith in this ball carrier to allow him a chance to run the football in that situation.
They hand it off again. Brought down around the 41-yard line. The ball carrier gives them 6 yards on the ground. 2nd and 4. Ball on the 41. They'll come out in the eye. And he was just a little too eager on that one. Here's the call.
Encroachment. Defense.
The defense can't keep giving up yards on penalties like this.
Yeah, it's hard enough in the game today with the rule changes to help the offense to stop an offense anyway, but you can't give away yards.
And they'll run him again. He's dropped at the 33. So a pickup of maybe 3. That'll bring up 2nd down. They line up at the 33. Only one man back. Green Bay sends a man in motion. Play fake. Scans the field. And he catches it with no one around. And they pick up the first down with a pass to the tight end.
If you're going to try and stop a tight end from catching those types of balls, you have to get physical with him at the line of scrimmage. If you give him free releases, he's going to wear you out.
Luke 45! Luke 45! No, stay down, stay down, stay down. Get ready. Hey, watch the...
Short throw to the right. 2 minutes to go in the half. He found his tight end for a first down.
There's nothing better for a quarterback than to have a big body guy like that that can catch the football. Nice play.
They're packed in tight on the line. All kinds of pressure. They'll score. Touchdown. Good-looking catch out to the fullback.
And how many fullbacks do you see in that situation have the balls just bounce right off their hands? But not this guy. He has nice, soft hands and makes big plays.
And they look to tie things up. Kick is up. Extra point is good. And now we'll take a quick look at the drive summary. The kick. He's tackled at the 27-yard line. Quarterback threw a pick on their last drive. Let's see if he's able to shake it off. Redmond is lined up under center. Single set backfield this time. He looks to throw on first down. On the run, he throws it. Turner was the intended receiver on the play, and it falls incomplete. So they'll face a 2nd and 10. Ball on the 27. The quarterback is in the gun. He has 2 tight ends in the formation.
Luke 45! Luke 45! Scatter, scatter, scatter!
He's looking to throw. Passes to his left. And they get him at about the 29-yard line. The defense was in great position to stop that play short, bringing up a 3rd down situation.
And when I saw the quarterback drop back that time, I really thought they had something going, but they closed quickly and made a nice play defensively to bring up this 3rd down.
Redmond will look to pass. He's there for the catch. He's tackled at about the 37-yard line. Not too bad a pass there.
Not too bad at all. And sometimes those little touch throws are actually more difficult than the bullet passes. Kind of hard to come up with the timing to hit the receiver right in stride, but that was well thrown.
And simply a great throw there.
Yeah, that really was a nice touch that time. Perfect sort of combination of velocity and touch. A very catchable ball thrown by this quarterback so that you don't have to overly focus on what you're doing and you can get your eyes back down the field, try and get a good run after the catch.
Redmond calls an audible. Redmond set to go to the air. Throws on the run. Completed. Tackled around the 17-yard line. You can tell these guys practice that play quite a bit.
Yeah, I can remember hearing stories about old-time players in the NFL that literally they could go out in the pitch black and make throws and catches without really even seeing the ball. That's the kind of timing we're seeing today.
First down now and 10 to go. All on the 17-yard line. The kick is up. Good job putting that kick right on target, and it goes through for 3 points. Here's the kick. From the 7. He's still going. Dropped at the 30. From their own 30-yard line. And we'll probably see how far he can throw here, as this should be the last play before the half.
Tiger. Oh, make a play.
Rodgers drops to throw. Gets the pass away. Bats it away. And we've come to halftime here. The score is 13-10. The kick. Fielded at the 4. He's hammered at the 29-yard line. So before the offense hits the field, let's take the time to let you know that our game is brought to you by EA Sports. He fights forward to about the 29. A gain of a yard, if anything, on the run. We've got 2nd and 9 here. The offense lines up with 3 wide receivers. He drops back to pass. He rolls out to the right. Incomplete pass. He just threw that one away.
Incomplete. 3rd down.
Green Bay lines up with their dime defense. Milner in motion. Redmond looking to throw. Throws short. He's dropped right around the 34-yard line. They were able to complete the pass on the play, but they'll still end up short of the first down.
And it's really up to the receiver in that situation to try and split the defenders. He has to find a way to duck a shoulder, to roll his head, to do something to, yes, they got the tackle, but they got it while I was still moving forward and able to pick up the first down.
Gets it away cleanly. Blackman takes it at the 23. He's brought down right around the 30-yard line, and that return should set this offense up nicely.
He did a good job there finding a seam and getting up the field. You know, a lot of people don't realize that being a punt returner or a kick returner is one of the toughest jobs in the NFL. There's a whole lot of things that could go wrong and only a few that can really go right.
And he's knocked out at about the 35-yard line. A 5-yard gain. That brings up 2nd down. From their own 36-yard line. The Packers line up with 3 wide.
Let's go. Switch. Green 88. Somebody make a play. Green 88.
Grant takes it up the middle. Brought down behind the line. Looked for a seam, but he wasn't able to find anything.
And let's give credit to the defense. They had a great push there. They got in the backfield, took control of their own gaps.
Quick game, 44 screw. Good yank. Let's stop. Good yank.
Looks to pass. Huge pressure by the defense. And it's caught. Great pickup for the first on that one.
And really what makes NFL football so special is the ability of these quarterbacks to throw it and these great receivers to catch it. That's just fun to watch.
Rodgers sends a guy in motion to the right. He'll get it again. He got decleated. Good blocking up front. And a nice gain on the counter.
Yeah, not often do you see those inside linebackers fooled like that. They took that misstep, came back around with the counter, just simply out of position. Those big offensive linemen able to get on them, pick up a big gain.
Drops back on first down. Rifles it across the middle. It's picked off. At some point, do you think about putting the backup in there?
Well, either that or think about trading for some of these defensive backs and making them wide receivers, because this quarterback's had no problem hitting them all day.
Redmond with the give. He's dropped at the 34-yard line. So at the most, he gains a few inches.
Well, that outside linebacker came on the run blitz. They got some penetration and shut down the play.
Hands it off. He's tackled at the 37. 3 yards on the run.
Gain of 3.
Third down, they need 6 for a first. Ball on the 37-yard line. Looks to pass. Not much time to throw. Catch is made. Brought down at the 47-yard line. Great time for that type of pass. It worked to perfection.
And that was a nice job by the offensive line, allowing the quarterback enough time to survey the field and find the open guy.
There's a play fake. Looks for a man open. Tackled around the 33-yard line. What happened there, Chris?
Well, they got caught in man-to-man coverage on that play, and I couldn't tell if the defender slipped a little bit or not. Maybe he just got beat on the play.
The pocket is collapsing. And he made a great open field tackle. And he just couldn't get it going after making the catch.
Nope, and sometimes as a receiver, the quarterback will make the wrong read and throw it to you anyway, and you give him that look going back to the huddle. You know that look?
On the ground with a tailback. He gets out to about the 28-yard line. Maybe got a couple of yards, but that's about it. That'll bring up third down. They'll line it up again on third down. One-man backfield. Play action. Steps up in the pocket. Dropped an easy one. And the pass will fall incomplete. Fourth down coming up.
And those are the kind of big third down plays you have to have on defense to get the ball back and give your team a chance on offense.
Kicks it. Got plenty of distance. I think that guy needs to go back to the sideline and practice a few more kicks. As a kicker, you have to be ready at a second's notice to be able to step out on the field and make those kind of field goals. And it didn't appear he was completely ready for that one, and the result was a miss. And the score remains the Falcons 13, the Packers 10. Grant gains about 5 yards on the play. It's 2nd and 5 here. Rodgers lines up under center. He has 2 backs behind him. They'll give it off here. What a hit. I don't think he even saw that guy. The running back gets about a yard, maybe less. Third down, 5 yards for the first. Ball on their own 40. Rodgers is lined up under center. Two backs in the eye. Looks to pass. It's tipped. Oh my, the quarterback is lucky that one wasn't intercepted.
Yeah, you try and fit some of those into some tight holes, and every once in a while you're going to get one pick, but that was a pretty good play by the defense.
He gets it away. This one's going to go out of bounds at the 37-yard line. So as the offense heads back onto the field, we'll take this time to remind you that our game is brought to you by EA Sports. If it's in the game, it's in the game. Looks left, throws. He's brought down at the 37, and the wideout gets a chance to show what he can do.
With show being the operative word there, it has been a show watching this guy from the beginning of his career.
Atlanta sends a man in motion. Here's the halfback. He's dropped for a loss. The defense got the job done on that play.
Yeah, you could really see the defensive end on that one, controlling his blocker time and simply waiting there to make the play.
Turner will run it again. He's tackled at the 37. He carries the ball for 3, maybe 4 yards. It's third down, 10 yards for a first. They'll bring the dime backs in. Back to throw. He needs to get rid of it. He goes up high for the catch. The defense just didn't match up well on that play.
Yeah, tough to match up one-on-one in man coverage against that wide receiver. He's pretty good.
The Falcons come out showing 3 wide. Feeds it to the back. Stiff arms, and he's brought down. Loss of 2 on the run by the halfback. Only one man back. Turner gets the call again. He's going to be tackled for a loss. It looked as if the offensive line just collapsed on that play.
And it looked like this defensive line just beat him off the snap. Sometimes those guys can time out the quarterback's cadence, and if the quarterback doesn't start changing that snap count, his offensive line's going to really struggle.
Redmond back to throw. He throws it. Pass is complete. And they get him about the 15-yard line. Good gain through the air, but they're still short of the first down.
Yeah, and if the receiver would have reached the ball out a little bit more, he probably would have been able to pick up the first down there. On a good gainer like that, you just can't allow yourself not to know where those chains are. Could have made that play.
Kick is up. And it's good. And we'll take a quick look at the drive summary. The kick is away. Brought down at the 25. They didn't look sharp on their last drive and were forced to punt it away. The Packers come out in the single back formation, 3 receivers wide.
Keep your eyes open. 388. Tiger. 388. Come on, come on, come on.
He didn't get back to the line. A great defensive effort there.
Did you see how fast that linebacker was on that one? Not only did he recognize it, but when he did recognize it, he had the explosiveness to get there.
There's a play fake with the hard throw out to his right. He's brought down at the 43-yard line. and that one will go for a first.
And really top-notch quarterbacks know how to throw a football in there without leading his receiver into trouble. That was a great throw.
Nice play fake. And it's picked. He's tackled right around the 46-yard line. What a big-time play. I can't believe he hung on to it.
Well, we're going to have to quit using that old cliche about cornerbacks and defensive backs not being able to catch the football. That was some play that time.
He looks to throw on first down. Throws while on the run. Almost picked. White was the intended receiver, but the pass fell incomplete. They'll face second down and 10. Ball on the 47. They'll go from the I formation. Here's the halfback. Tackled at the 44-yard line. And the halfback carries for a pickup of 3.
Man, oh man, that's what those guys live for right there. Shot like that, and then they always end up and have a little lead going back to the...
And he catches it. And then around the yard line. Another complete pass puts him to 300 yards.
And you know, this guy just loves to play football. I really like talking to him before the game. You can hear the passion in his voice. And when you have a leader that has that kind of passion and that kind of emotion, it's just so much easier to play the game.
First and 10. Ball on the 23. They line up in an I. Fakes the run. The backer picks it off. The defense looks like they're running a pick drill out there.
And I think you said that well, because this has been a team defense. They've been getting pressure, good coverage in the secondary, and this quarterback is struggling.
First down, 10 to go. Ball on their own 22. The offense lines up with 3 wide receivers.
Luke 45! Luke 45!
Gets the pass out. He's dropped around the 37-yard line. That one worked pretty well.
It sure did, and I wish all our fans could see what's happening down the field on all our television broadcasts, because so much of the game now is won and lost in the secondary.
Fakes to the back. Throws a bullet. There for the catch. Brought down at the 46-yard line. The defense was looking run, and they threw it for a big gain.
Well, when you have a talented running back like this, you always have to account for him. That time, a nice play-action pass, open it up down the field.
Handoff up the middle. Tackled at the 46-yard line. A pickup of less than a yard, and that will bring up second down. From the 46-yard line. Green Bay lines up in the offset I this time. On play action with the pass. Jennings was the intended receiver, and he can't bring it in. 3rd and 9 coming up. Ball on the 46-yard line. Rodgers lines up under center. 3 receivers are split out wide. Passes it out. Makes the catch. He's tackled at the 23-yard line. A good play fake that time.
It really was. I didn't see it. I thought it was a run play. He pulled it out of there and came up with a nice gain.
Luke 45!
Drops back to pass. Looking for a receiver. Comes down with it. Defense pushes him out of bounds at about the 13-yard line. Another fine pass and catch on that play.
I know we all talk about 40-yard dash times in the NFL, but as a receiver, if you are a great route runner and you understand what the defenses are trying to do to you, It doesn't matter if you run a 4.3 40. If you can get in and out of your cuts like this guy, you will always be able to play.
That defensive lineman just seems to have a knack for finding the ball carrier.
You know, listen, I would never want to block a defensive lineman. So, I've seen these guys. I know these guys. They're big and they're nasty. But at least from an offensive standpoint, you have to try to get in their way.
On play action, makes the reception. He's brought down at the 11. Chris, they love to run that play.
Yeah, that's one, if you study this team on tape, you're going to see them go to that in the clutch, and it worked again.
Blue 45! Blue 45!
They'll go with the run once again. He's dropped around the 8-yard line. Grant gains around 3 yards on the run.
That was a big shot right there. You talk about getting your bell rung. That was the Liberty Bell ringing that time.
He drops back with the catch. Gets in for the touchdown. Rodgers watched his receiver get some room and got it to him for 6. Here's the extra point that can give them the lead. Up and good. And here's your drive summary for that last series. The kick is away. Taken from the 3-yard line. At the 30, he's tackled at the 34-yard line. On his last drive, the quarterback completed a pass, but to the other team. Throwing another one could be disastrous to this offense. They line up in a one-back set. Fakes the run. It's completed. And they get him at the 35. Not much of a gain at all on that first down completion.
Pretty tough sometimes when a quarterback is looking at his first read, it's not there. The second read is there, but he knows his guy is going to get hit immediately afterwards, and that's what happened there. They took away the first and second read.
Brings it in. He's tackled at the 46-yard line. How about that pass?
There's really no better feeling as an offense, especially for the quarterback position, than to take advantage when the defense is trying to blitz you. They're trying to make you nervous, and you just made them pay.
Little handoff. He fights forward to about the 43. Turner comes away with 2 yards on the carry. So, at the end of 3, our score is the Packers 17, the Falcons 16. 2nd and 8, ball on the 43. Atlanta goes with the ace set here. He's looking to throw. Rolls right. Brings this one in. Brought down at the 36-yard line. Nice little pickup on that pass pattern.
And I really shouldn't feel this way, but I get a little nervous every time this guy goes up to make a catch, because he's had a little bit of a history of dropping some balls, but today doing a nice job hanging on and a big play there.
He throws on the run. Oh, and he dropped it. The defender got there in time to break that play up.
He did. He was able to get his hands on the ball, but if he had missed that one might have turned into a really big play.
He punts it. This one's going to be down in the end zone for a touchback. The offense is looking to build off the momentum from their previous drive, which resulted in a touchdown. Counter left. And they get him at the 24-yard line. 4-yard gain by the back.
Gain of 4.
From their own 24-yard line. They line up with one running back in the backfield, 3 wide. Hands it off. He's hit hard on the play. 2-yard pickup.
Not very often in a game does a defender get a clean shot like that on a running back. Typically, the running back didn't see it coming to take that kind of a shot.
Let's go, fellas. Let's go. Close right.
He fakes it. Gets rid of the ball. Picked off. Tackled at the 34-yard line. Great catch by the linebacker. Not a smart throw from the quarterback.
You know, it's hard to believe that you can lose a guy that big, but sometimes those linebackers dropping underneath in coverage, quarterbacks just don't see him, and he threw it right to him.
They'll throw on first down. And the defense has a heavy rush. And he should have had that one. What a play by the defender.
And the quarterback really caught a break on that one, that wasn't intercepted.
Second down now with 10 to go. The backfield is in the offset I formation. Drops back to pass. Short throw to the left. He's tackled at the 30. The wideout has put on quite a display out there en route to a 100-yard performance.
And there really just isn't anything this receiver can't do. Just keep feeding him the football. I don't care what the coverage is. This is a guy that wants the ball in tough situations.
On the ground with a tailback. And it looks short from up here. Turner gains about 4 yards on the play. The snap, set down, the kick is up. He's got it, and he put that one through nicely.
It's a pretty rare kicker that can kick a ball that far with that kind of accuracy. That was just a cannon shot.
Kicks it off. He'll return it from the 6. Still pushing. He's hammered at the 25. Once again, we'll take this opportunity to remind you that this game is brought to you by the fine folks at EA Sports. The offense will line this one up with 3 running backs in the backfield. They tackle him for a loss. The defense just ate up that play.
Well, those defenders get paid too, and every once in a while they win the battle. Clearly that time they were all over this offensive line.
He drops back. Goes through his read. Pass completed. What a shot! So they pick up quite a few yards on that play.
Yeah, really a nice route that time. One of the keys to playing wide receiver is the ability to not only get into cuts, but to get out of the cuts. That time, very explosive coming out of that cut, and it made the difference.
Let's go, let's go. Alert, run, tiger, tiger, tiger.
The halfback with the carry. And they're not going to get it. Great stop. That series has to be disappointing for the coaching staff.
Yeah, their poor defense didn't even have time to go over and get a glass of water. All of a sudden, the punter's back on the field, and the defense has to go play again.
The Falcons have everyone on the line. Looks like they're coming after this one. He gets it away. It'll go out at the 44. And they take the field again, looking to capitalize on their previous drive, which resulted in a field goal. Atlanta sends a man in motion. Fakes to the back. There for the reception. He's brought down at about the 45-yard line. He put something extra on that throw, and it'll keep the chains moving.
And that's really what it takes sometimes, because defenders are so quick out there. If you don't put a little extra pop on it, they can get there.
They'll throw on first down. Makes the catch. Brought down at about the 37-yard line. Pretty nice pickup on the pass that time.
And that's simply good design and execution on the pattern. They work hard all week in practice to make sure that on game day they have that timing down perfectly.
They go with a run. And they get him around the 37-yard line. Turner gets about a yard on the play. Short yardage situation here. They'll need a little less than a yard to convert.
Let's go. 388. That's hot, man. Watch the fake. King.
Turner takes it left. He's tackled at the 15. Looks like the containment just broke down on that one, and they end up giving up the first.
Defense is all about gap control. All you have to do is maintain your one gap. If one guy blows it, you can give up a big play like that.
Redmond steps to the line of scrimmage. Two tight ends in the formation. On play action, passes it, is there for the catch. He's finally dragged down, and now it will be first and goal. They'll set up inside the 5. Ball on the 4-yard line. He gets in for 6. Great play call, and they get the score.
Yeah, I really think you hit on the key there. It may have caught the defense a little off guard when you get in that 4 to 7 kind of area down on the goal line. Typically, you're thinking pass.
Extra point is good. Here's a quick look at the drive summary. Decent kick. He'll return it from the 4-yard line. Runs over tacklers. And he's drilled. What a hit. They had to punt it away on their previous drive. They'll get the ball here at the 29-yard line. 1st and 10. Rodgers comes to the line under center. They'll come out in an I. Grant on the right side. And he just got hammered. Grant gains 7 yards on that play. They'll need about 3 yards here on 2nd down. Only one man back. Drops back to pass. Under heavy pressure. Not much room to throw into, and it's intercepted. He's brought down at the 34. Well, he looked like he was in the right place at the right time.
Unless you're the quarterback, then he was in the wrong place at the wrong time.
From the 34-yard line, Redmond will come to the line with a 3-wide formation. They keep it on the ground with the tailback. He'll be brought down behind the line of scrimmage. That safety just came flying in there to make the tackle.
It is just so difficult for offensive lines to account for the safety. Typically, that's the one free runner that you have. And if you have a top-flight safety back there that can come in and make those kinds of plays, it really helps your run defense.
On the ground with a tailback. Brought down at the 35. They get 2 yards, and so it'll be 3rd down. They'll go with the quarter defense. Gives it off. He's dropped at the 32-yard line, and that will bring up a 4th down.
Well, that's just a big run stop right there. You have a very proud defensive line that was just going to take control of that situation.
He gets it away. It'll go out at the 8. The quarterback and his receiver were clearly not on the same page last time, and it led to an interception. 2 tight ends here. Rodgers sends a man in motion. He's tackled at the 13. Grant gets about 4 yards on the counter play. The Falcons line up with a nickelback. Drops back to pass. Throws it short. He steps out at the 15. A couple of yards there.
A lot of times in that situation, they try to get the ball in the receiver's hands, hoping he'll make one guy miss and get away. That time, good tackling.
Surveys the field. Jennings had it and dropped it. 4th down coming up, and they've got a big decision to make here.
Well, it's 4th down. You're losing. It's in the 4th quarter. I really think you have to think about going for it here.
Ryan kicks it, and man, did he get a leg into this one. Jennings fields it at the 38. What a brutal hit. The defense could do no wrong the last time this team had the ball. They'll start at the 46-yard line. It's 1st and 10. Turner gets it on the inside. He's dropped at the 40. The delayed handoff picks up around 6 yards there. Redmond is under center. 2 tight ends this time.
Blue 45. Blue 45. Yeah, we see that screen. Go, baby. Let's go get it. Reload.
Tackled at the 38. 2-yard gain, and that makes it 3rd down. It's 3rd down and a yard for the first. Ball on the 38. Redmond steps to the line of scrimmage. They'll line up in single back. Turner gets the ball. He gets out to about the 35-yard line. He really fought hard to get the first there.
Well, one thing you know as a running back, as long as they keep moving the sticks, they're going to keep giving you the ball. Picked up the first down, did his job.
Blue 45. Blue 45. Black,
Turner gets it on the draw. He's tackled at the 31. A pickup of 4. That'll bring up 2nd down. Out of the I formation. And they use motion. Play action. Hits him square in the hands, but he fails to bring it in. Hartsock was the intended receiver, but they can't complete the pass. Green Bay brings in their nickel package. He drops back. Scans the field. And he caught it. He's dropped at the 18-yard line. Oh boy, that's a nice play on 3rd down.
Clutch play by the receiver that time on 3rd down. As a receiver, you really have to just flat out want the ball in that situation, and you can tell that this guy really does.
Scatter. Roger. Left smash flip.
Brought down at the 15. A gain of 3 yards.
Boy, he just took a shot on that one. As a running back, the last thing in the world you want is a short gain and a big hit.
Zebra. Bang right.
returner gets another handoff. And they get him around the 15-yard line. And the halfback has nowhere to go. Third down now, 7 yards to go. Ball on the 15. Looks like 3 wideouts this time. They'll keep it on the ground again. He's tackled at the 11. He carries the ball for 3, maybe 4 yards. Right down the middle. He put that one right through the upright. And here's the kick. Williams takes it from the 6. He's hammered at the 32-yard line. The offense takes the field, hoping to put something together after their last drive ended in a 3-and-out. They line this one up in shotgun. 4 wide receivers are split out in the formation. They'll throw on first down. Now he's scrambling. Makes the grab. He's dropped at the 49-yard line. A good amount of yards that time on the pass.
And running backs who are good receivers are pretty rare. You know, a lot of times those guys, they come out and they're good running the football, but they don't make the kind of plays in the passing game. This guy can clearly do both.
It's incomplete. He couldn't get 2 feet in on that one.
Well, that's something receivers work on all the time, dragging that back toe, just unable to do it that time.
Rodgers back to pass. Throws to his left. I think he might have gotten just a little too aggressive on that one.
Pass interference. Defense.
And they say the defender made contact with the receiver too early.
But the defender can't go through the offensive player on the way to the ball, and that's what happened there.
Drops back on first down. On the run, he throws it. He's brought down around the 20-yard line. You just can't let him get the ball, can you? That reception put him over 100 yards.
And this receiver just looks so confident catching the football. You know, if you really believe in your hands, it gives your eyes a chance to look away and try and make some runs after the catch. This guy knows he's going to make every catch and do it solidly.
Good job by the defender to knock the ball out of there.
And that was a good shot. As a receiver, you've got to know you're going to take some hits. You just have to hold on to that ball.
Rodgers will look to throw. Rifles it out there. Batted away. Sleet was unable to make the catch on that pass attempt. That brings up 3rd and 10. Ball on the 20. The offense lines this one up in shotgun. 3 wide receivers in the formation. Drops back. Looking for an open man. And it's completed. Great open field tackle. And that one was completed for a solid gain.
Solid gain, yes, but no first down on that play. So now it's going to bring up a decision on the part of the offense. Defensively, I think they executed that one exactly the way they wanted to.
He's looking to throw. Throws on the run. He's tackled at the 9. On 4th down, they come up big.
Yeah, obviously the offense gets a little easier at this point in the game. You know that you have to go for it on every 4th down. Sure is nice having that extra down to pick up a first.
Looking to throw. Moves up in the pocket. And he goes down. They go to their hurry-up offense.
Loss of 6.
Green Bay comes out in the shotgun. Rodgers adjusts the play at the line. Drops back to pass. Looks down the field. Moves up with the pass. Hits him square in the hands, but he fails to bring it in. An excellent job by the defense of disrupting that last play.
And that was really on the wide receiver. Not much of a route, very little separation, and gave the defense a chance to make that play.
Gives it off. Hit and dropped behind the line. That started off poorly and only got worse.
And you could see the running back there just saying, where are my guys? Where's my blocking? What's going on out here? Just need a little help from your friends.
Looking to throw. Here's the pass. Caught out of bounds, incomplete. They come out in the nickel. Straight ahead with a fullback. Tackled at the 26-yard line. A good 6 yards there by the fullback. It's 2nd and 4. Redmond comes up to the line. 3 wide receivers split out wide. Give to the tailback. Brought down at the 28-yard line. The running back gains 2 yards on the carry. The Falcons come out in a single back formation. Little handoff. He fights forward to about the 30. They didn't gain much, but it was enough for the first.
Well, the real gain on that play was on the clock, because not only did they pick up the first down, but that clock keeps ticking.
And he'll just kneel it here. Second down and a long 12. Ball on their own 29. And this should be a kneel down as they just try to kill the clock.
One's a hard count. Close up, switch. Play your assignments, man. Let's go, D. Alert run.
So this one is all wrapped up. Our final score, the Falcons 29, the Packers 17.
Atlanta and Carolina. And now we'll go to Tom Hammond and Chris Collinsworth for the opening kickoff. Tom?
We couldn't have asked for a better day for football as we get ready for today's game. Welcome, everyone. Tom Hammond and Chris Collinsworth here with a call. Let me tell you something. These two rivals have no love for each other, Chris.
I talked to both of these coaches earlier in the week, and the funny thing is, every time I come out of a conversation with one coach, I'm sure that team's going to win, and then I go talk to the other coach, and I'm sure that team's going to win. So I basically don't know what's going to happen today.
Atlanta lines up in the offset eye this time.
Blue 45. Blue Tiger.
Here's the halfback. He's tackled at the 28-yard line. They pick up 2 yards, and that will bring up 2nd down. Here's a look at the key playmakers on the Falcons offense. Atlanta lines up in a shotgun set.
48. Block 99, Philly.
Looking to throw. Defense is getting pressure. Takes a shot deep to the right. And it's tipped and caught. And they get him at about the 29-yard line. How about that pass play?
I love seeing those little touch passes like that. I mean, that is just a thing of beauty. It takes so much work to get that kind of timing down between a quarterback and receiver.
Drops back to pass. Gets the ball away. Davis knocks it away. And the defender breaks up the play.
Just great position that time on the defensive side. The receiver really never had a chance on that one.
Atlanta lines up in the offset eye this time. On play action, passes to his left. Mahaley can't make the catch.
Pass incomplete.
Mahaley was the intended receiver, and he can't bring it in.
Third down.
It's third down, 10 yards for a first. Ball on the 30-yard line.
Blue 45! Blue 45!
Looking to throw. Surveys the field. He's there for the catch. He's dropped around the 18-yard line. What happened there, Chris?
Well, they got caught in man-to-man coverage on that play, and I couldn't tell if the defender slipped a little bit or not. Maybe he just got beat on the play.
The Falcons put a man in motion to the right. They're going to pitch it. Cuts back, and he's dropped. Nice stop on that play.
Yeah, great defense at the point of attack, but also very impressive, the pursuit to the ball. They were all coming there.
They're going to pitch it. He's brought down at the 15. They get 3 yards on the play, and so it'll be third down. That'll bring up third down with 8 yards to go. Ball on the 15. Redmond sends a man in motion. He's looking to throw. Short throw to the right. Completed. Knocked out of bounds at the 13. They complete the pass, but it won't be enough for the first.
Yeah, that's one of those balls that looks good in the stats for the quarterback because he gets a completion, but for this offense, it's going to bring up fourth down. Huge play defensively to make that stop.
And he makes it. Solid kick that time, and he puts it right through the uprights, converting for the field goal. Here's the kick. From his own goal line. He's tackled at the 27. I'm sure they'd like to come away with some points as they take the field for the first time. Single back formation, 3 wide receivers. Williams gets the ball left side. He's dropped at the 30. 3 yards on the run.
Gain of 3.
They line up at the 30. Delhomme steps to the line of scrimmage. They'll line up in the I formation. Drops back to pass. Goes through his read. Great protection. And it's caught. And they get him at the 34-yard line. He gunned that one in there for the first down, didn't he?
He really did, and when you watch a guy throw a ball that hard, they don't move their arm any faster. You see them driving off that back leg. That was a pretty pass.
First and 10. Ball on the 34. They'll go from the I formation.
Hey, watch the screen. Right, check 66. 180. 180. Turbo. Kings left. Right.
And they'll run him again. Dropped behind the line. He couldn't get anywhere on that one.
Yeah, sometimes you just have to admit defeat on a play as a running back and just try and get that thing back to the line of scrimmage.
He drops back. Rockets it out. And he dropped him in the open field. Nice grab on the play, his second catch of the drive.
Yeah, and I'm going to expect to see a lot more passes to this guy. He's a good receiver. He's talented. He can make the catch and get upfield. But more importantly right now, this defense is creating some opportunities for him to catch the ball.
They're going to pitch it. He doesn't get back to the line.
Personal foul, face mask, defense.
That's a huge mistake for this defense. You can't let things like that happen.
Oh, and look at them out there. They're just sick. You make a stop on third down, you're going to get off the field. They're all kicking the dirt right now because they gave up a cheap first down.
Again with the run. He's brought down right around the 8-yard line. They get around 5 yards from the halfback. They're now threatening inside the 10. Williams is the deep back as they line up in the I. They hand it off again. Makes a cut, and he will be hit and dropped. About 4 yards on that play, and that makes it third down. Atlanta brings in their nickel package. He fakes it. And he's out of bounds, incomplete. He caught that one out of bounds.
Well, you could see the receiver doing all he could to keep his feet in bounds, but that pass just let him out of bounds.
Right down the middle. He makes that one pretty easily and puts it through for 3 points. Kicks it off. And he's drilled. What a hit. They had to settle for a field goal on their last drive. They take the field again, looking to put up another score. Tackled around the 32-yard line. Takes the handoff and responds with a 7-yard gain. The offense lines up with 3 wide receivers. The halfback with the carry. And he will lose yardage on the play. 2-yard loss for the halfback. They line up at the 30. Atlanta lines up in the offset I this time. Hartsock in motion. They're going to pitch it. They will be short. The defense was ready on that series, and they had all the answers for what the offense tried to do.
And that's a humbling experience for any offense. When you go out there and have those 3-and-out series, you just go back to the sideline a little embarrassed, and the defense, they're upset.
Gets the punt away. It'll go out at the 46. So before the offense hits the field, let's take the time to let you know that our game is brought to you by EA Sports. He looks to throw on first down, looking for a receiver. Catch is made. He's tackled around the 40-yard line. Everything seemed to work perfectly on that one.
And that's a pattern that this team likes to run. You know they've been studying that all week on film, and yet they still can't stop it.
Regular. 188.
They'll throw on first down. Brought down at the 39-yard line. Williams gains a couple with a short completion. 2nd and 8 coming up here. Ball on the 39-yard line. Williams is the deep back as they line up in the I.
180. Let's go. Come on, guys. Bring right.
Nice play fake. Passes. Out of bounds, incomplete. Here's a 3rd and 8 situation. Ball on the 39. Carolina lines up with 3 receivers in the shotgun formation.
You've just won a 2-gigabyte portable zip drive.
Delhomme back to pass. Pass is complete. What a hit! Despite the great effort, it will still bring up fourth. They're trying to pin them deep with a solid punt right here. He punts it. It'll go out at the 11. Their last drive ended with a 3 and out. Looks like 3 wideouts this time. They'll give it off here. Tackled right around the 16-yard line. 5-yard gain. That'll bring up second down. 2nd and 5. Ball on their own 17. The Falcons come out showing 3 wide. Again with the carry. And they get him at the 19-yard line. Turner gains around 3 yards on the run.
Boy, he just took a shot on that one. As a running back, the last thing in the world you want is a short gain and a big hit.
And he catches it. He's tackled at the 28-yard line. A good play to the tight end that time.
And tight ends are so big that as coverage people, it's tough to figure out how to defend them. If you're on their left side, they throw it to their right side. If you're behind them, they throw it in front. Tight ends are tough to cover.
Fakes to the back. Gets it off. He goes up high for the catch. That was a pretty nice play.
And the wide receiver saved the quarterback there. Anytime you get a ball up in there, you are in danger of a tip ball, an interception, but good strong hands that time by the wideout.
Atlanta sends a man in motion to the right. Back to throw. Huge pressure by the defense. What an open field tackle. It's completed, but the defense appeared to be waiting for it. Not much there at all.
That's part speed and part anticipation by this defensive unit. They're always in great position, and you'll rarely see them get burned on passes like that.
Tosses it out. And we have a flag on the play. Looked like the ref is going to call this one back.
Holding. Offense.
That seemed like the right call there.
Yeah, sometimes you have holding and sometimes you have tackling. That looked more like a tackle.
They'll come out in the eye.
You got close left. Blue 45. 44 press. 44 press.
Redmond has completed every pass on this drive. The hit came just as he got the ball away.
And this quarterback's a pretty tough guy, but when you see those big guys running at you, it makes all the difference in the world.
The Falcons set up in the gun. Atlanta sends a man in motion. He drops back. Looks for a man open. There for the catch. He's dropped at midfield. They complete the pass on 3rd and long, but they'll end up short of the marker.
You can see the confidence level of this defense. They know they can make open field tackles, and that's probably one of the great lost arts in the game. The ability to make the tackle in the open field and stop them short of the first down. Good play defensively there.
Gets it away cleanly. Down in the end zone for a touchback. They had to punt it away on their previous drive. They line up at the 20. They'll go from the I formation.
Let's go, D. I'm trying to get you over there, baby. 180. Let's go. 180. Let's go right. Hey. Same thing. Hey. Watch the ball. Hey.
Play fake. He throws it. Drops the sure pick. Oh my, the quarterback is lucky that one wasn't intercepted.
Yeah, you try and fit some of those into some tight holes, and every once in a while, you're going to get one pick, but that was a pretty good play by the defense.
Williams on the inside handoff. He's brought down at the 23. Just about a 3-yard gain. That'll bring up 3rd down. Carolina comes out with 3 receivers in a single back formation. Throws out to the right. He got depleted. Great pickup for the first on that one.
And really what makes NFL football so special is the ability of these quarterbacks to throw it and these great receivers to catch it. That's just fun to watch.
Hands it to the back. He is hit hard on the play. No gain, and that will bring up second down. Second down, 10 yards to go. Delhomme back in the shotgun for this one.
Other side. James, 22 press. 180. 180. Run. Go, baby. Hey, don't get that ball out.
They hand it off again. Tackled at the 42. The running back picks up 6 on that play. The Panthers come out in a single back formation. They'll give it off here. Brought down at the 46-yard line. He did what he could, but it still won't be enough for a first down.
And defensively, they'll give you a run like that. I mean, it's third down and long situation, and if you want to simply hand the ball off, take it. We'll let you punt the football, and we'll go back and drink some little water.
Baker will punt it, and he absolutely boomed it. So this one goes into the end zone, and that'll be a touchback. The defense could do no wrong the last time this team had the ball. And they get him at the 22. The running back gains 2 yards on the carry. 2nd and 8 coming up here. Ball on their own 22. The offense lines this one up in shotgun. 3 wide receivers in the formation. Mahaley takes it left. He's dropped around the 24-yard line. He plows ahead for a 2-yard gain. Atlanta comes to the line with 3 wide. Pitch left. Knocked out at the 33-yard line. He just broke that one for a big gain and the first down.
Boy, that's a killer on third down to allow that kind of run to be ripped off in there. You're thinking, okay, if they want to throw the ball, take a chance on getting a big play, that's fine. But to see a run go for that kind of a gainer, that makes you sick.
Give to the tailback. He's brought down right around the 32-yard line, and the halfback has nowhere to go. So they'll face a 2nd and 10. Ball on their own 33. Redmond is in the shotgun. He has 3 receivers split out wide. He's looking to throw. Looking for an open man. Mahaley drops it. Mahaley was the intended receiver on the play, and it falls incomplete. Third down once again. Let's see if they can convert this one. Turner alone in the backfield. He drops back. Passes the ball. He's tackled around the 46-yard line. He's hitting his marks today, and that last pass gives him 100 yards through the air.
When I spoke to him before the game, he said he had a bit of a virus during the week. Fortunately for his team, it doesn't look like it. Maybe the rest of them need to catch a little case of the flu.
Luke 45! Luke 45! Hey, we got to watch the ball, y'all.
And the defense has a heavy rush. Can't stay in bounds, incomplete pass. The receiver was out of bounds when he made the catch.
Not a perfectly timed throw that time. Held on to it just a little too long and led the receiver out of bounds.
He's looking to throw. Throws it out. Comes down with it. And they get him at the 34-yard line. A decent pickup on the pass play.
Yeah, and that's frustrating for a defense. They had good coverage on the play. The receiver just found a way to catch that one.
Atlanta sends a man in motion to the right. Setting up play action. Scans the field. Gets the throw off. Makes the reception. Brought down at about the 13-yard line. And this receiver just loves it when the defense is in man coverage.
Yeah, there's no better feeling than when you're coming off the ball and you know it's just you and the guy across from you. That's just good old-fashioned football, but you also know typically when you get man coverage, your quarterback is under pressure.
On play action, he's under pressure. And he dropped it. They can't complete the pass, and now the offense will be looking at second down. The Falcons come out with the offset eye.
An all-expenses trip to the beautiful Bahamas.
Play fake. Passes to the end zone. He brings it in. Touchdown. How did he get open for such a big gain?
Well, it just goes to show that you don't have to be the fastest guy on the football field to get open. That time, some physical play, getting off the line of scrimmage, a good quick cut, and he gets it in for the touchdown.
Here's the point after. And the point after is good. And now we'll take a quick look at the drive summary. And here's the kick. Fielded at the 4. At the 30. And he's knocked out at the 34-yard line. They were forced to punt on their last drive. From their own 34-yard line. Williams lines up as the deep back, I formation.
Regular. Harger. Over tough, too straight. Close right. Regular. Oh, make a play.
Fakes the run. They get to him. It looked like the defensive coordinator called for the blitz at just the right time.
It's one of the toughest things about getting blitzed is that everyone has to execute their block perfectly. It's one-on-one blocking. One guy misses a block, and your quarterback's sacked.
Rifles it to the right. Smith drops it. Defense gets the turnover. Big-time play by this defense.
And wide receivers are so used to making jukes and moves out there, and sometimes they just get loose with the football. That one's stripped away, and that's a big play.
He's brought down at about the 45-yard line. The ball carrier gives them 6 yards on the ground. It's 2nd and 4.
Let's go, baby. Get the ball out.
The Falcons line up with 3 wide.
Come on, little hustle. Tiger. Blue 45.
He fakes it. With the catch. He's tackled at the 32-yard line. He put something extra on that throw, and it'll keep the chains moving.
And that's really what it takes sometimes because defenders are so quick out there. If you don't put a little extra pop on it, they can get there.
Zebra. Let's go.
The halfback with the carry. The defender gets him to the ground. Turner gets 3 yards on the play. 2nd and 7. Ball on the 29-yard line. Carolina brings in their nickel package. Back to throw. He passes short. It's completed. Brought down at about the 19-yard line. Not too bad a pass there.
Not too bad at all. And sometimes those little touch throws are actually more difficult than the bullet passes. Kind of hard to come up with the timing to hit the receiver right in stride, but that was well thrown.
The halfback with the carry. And they get him at the 16-yard line. Gain of 4. That brings up second down. From the 16-yard line, the Falcons line up with an offset I backfield. They hand it off again. Brought down behind the line. No one picked up the linebacker, and it cost them.
And when your defensive line can handle their guys up front and not allow the offensive linemen to get down on the linebackers, it really gives those linebackers a chance to look great.
Nice play fake. Looks down the field. He couldn't hang on to it, and it'll be fourth down following the pass deflection.
Just terrific play by the defense. They followed the quarterback's eyes, made a quick jump on the ball, and were all over that one.
And right down the middle. Nice work putting that one right through the uprights. He kicks it. Drilled at the 27. So as the offense heads back onto the field, we'll take this time to remind you that our game is brought to you by EA Sports. If it's in the game, it's in the game. Looks to pass. And they're coming after him. Brings it in. He's tackled at the 40. They pick up solid yardage there.
And I love to watch this wide receiver work. He is so patient with his routes. He gets down low into his cuts, and he really understands what the defense is trying to do to take him away, and he is working them over.
66. Watch the reverse. Come on, man, let's go.
Back on first down. Brings this one in. Tackled at the 47-yard line. Good read of the defense on that pass play.
Yeah, and throws like that really settle a quarterback down. It's all about getting into the flow of a game, and you can see he's getting comfortable now.
Let's go. 180. Let's get off. 180. Go. Let's go.
Nice play fake. With the catch. He's dropped at the 41-yard line. Good pickup by the receiver.
And we've always talked about this receiver's big play ability. He may not be the fastest guy in the league, but you can tell he wants the ball in his hands in big situations.
188.
First down, looking to throw. Pass completed. Brought down at the 33. He delivered a nice throw on that drop back, completing it for a pretty good gain.
You know, there aren't many guys who work any harder than this guy, both in the offseason and during the week of practice. He isn't the most physically gifted quarterback I've ever seen, but you can tell the time he puts in the film room, in the weight room, and he understands the game of football.
He's going to be tackled for a loss. Loss of 1 there for the halfback. 2 tight end set.
Let's go. Regular. Watch the ball.
Dumps it out right. And they get him at the 32-yard line. Still not quite enough, however. They'll still be facing fourth down. They're going to try a long field goal here. They'll be looking at a 49-yard try. Kicks it, got plenty of distance, and it's good. What an excellent kick.
I don't know about you, but I was getting ready to question the coach's decision on that one, giving him an opportunity from that distance. But boy, did he ever make that coach look smart there.
The kick. Norwood fields it at the 1. Hit and dropped at the 28-yard line. The offense was only able to muster a field goal on their last drive. We'll see what they do with this possession. The Falcons come out in the ace formation. Man in motion. On play action. Throws it. Dropped an easy one. White was the intended receiver, and he can't bring it in. Second down, 10 yards to go. Ball on the 28. The backfield is in the offset I formation. Looks to pass. The defense has him surrounded. They tackle him for a loss. That'll go for a loss of a couple.
Boy, that's just great anticipation by the defense there. They saw that play coming and were all over it.
Redmond drops back. Huge pressure by the defense. And the pass is knocked away. And the pass was knocked away at the last minute.
Well, at the end of the game, you go back and you basically say what happened on third down, and you have a pretty good indication of how that game came out. Good play by the defense.
Punts it. Robinson takes it at the 36. Hit hard at the 45. The offense takes the field, hoping to come away with more than just a field goal on this drive. Delhomme steps to the line of scrimmage. They'll come out in the single back formation. They keep it on the ground with the tailback. He's tackled right around the 44-yard line. He found a seam and was able to turn it into a 10-yard gain. Delhomme is under center. Only one man back here. He's looking to throw. He's under a heavy rush. They sacked him. And that play has to be disappointing for the offensive line coach.
Yeah, you could say that. They just did a terrible job picking up the blitz there. And now as a defense, if you see an offense that's really struggling trying to pick up the blitz, what happens? You send it more and more and more. If they don't stop the blitz, it is going to be a long afternoon.
He's pushed out at the 47-yard line. It's completed, but it'll wind up short.
Well, it's not a horrible call in that situation because you put the ball in the hands of a playmaker. You try and allow him to create, but you're seeing now defensively, when they close together like that, it's going to be awfully tough to pick up that first down.
Punts it, and he got a good one here. Into the end zone for a touchback. Once again, we'll take this opportunity to remind you that this game is brought to you by the fine folks at EA Sports. Redmond lines up under center. Single set backfield this time. Drops back on first down. Loose ball. Baker gets the loose ball. You know the defense is upset at that missed opportunity.
Turnovers can definitely turn the football game around, and that defense had a chance that time to make a big play.
Redmond back to throw. Throws it out. There for the reception. He's dropped right around the 24-yard line. They complete the pass for a gain of 10 on the slant. 3rd and 5. Ball on their own 25. The backfield is in the offset I formation. Redmond drops to throw. Throws while on the run. Huge hit. Another positive gain through the air.
And it really helps when the quarterback gets the kind of protection he's getting so far in this one. This offensive line's doing a nice job building a pocket for this quarterback, and that's creating some nice passing lanes.
Nice play fake. Makes the catch. Pretty nice throw on that play.
And a pretty good catch on the other end, too. That's one of those plays that's quickly becoming one of the staples in this offensive passing attack.
Redmond has completed every pass on this drive. Throws left. The defender got to him just as he threw the ball.
And even though that one doesn't go down as a sack, that's one of those that the quarterback remembers and probably rushes him just a little bit on the next throw.
He drops back to pass. Rolls right. Is there for the catch. What a shot! And that one will go for a first.
And really top-notch quarterbacks know how to throw a football in there without leading his receiver into trouble. That was a great throw.
Fakes to the back. Throws off his back foot. Knocked out of bounds at the 19-yard line. And a big catch by the tight end.
And I can tell you this, there's nothing that defensive backs hate more than to have one of those big tight ends in the open field running right towards them.
Hands it off. He's tackled at the 9. They go with a run, and that'll be a gain of 9. Short yardage situation here, 2nd and a yard. Redmond lines up under center. He has 2 backs behind him. Play fake. Throws it short. And he caught it. Hit and dropped behind the line. That'll be a 2-yard loss.
That play was really all about defensive pursuit. They saw the ball thrown. They got there quickly for a loss on the play.
Turner on the inside handoff. It appears to be short. Got a couple, but will still be short of the marker.
Yeah, and for a minute it looked like he might slip out of there, but the defense got there. The pursuit was all over it, and they made a nice stop.
The snap, set down, the kick is up. Not much doubt as he puts that one right through the uprights. Here's the kick. Stewart from the 2. He's hammered at the 28-yard line. They couldn't do anything against this defense on their last drive, and they were forced to punt. Atlanta brings in the nickel here. Fakes to the back. He throws right. Brought down at about the 33-yard line. They fake the handoff and complete the pass for a 6-yard gain. They line up in the shotgun.
Regular. 180.
Give to the tailback. And they get him at the 42. This running back just showed off some nice ability there.
Yeah, the offensive line did their job. They created enough of a seam to get him up into the secondary, and then he was able to explode from there.
Here's a little draw play. He lost yardage on the play. That defensive lineman just seems to have a knack for finding the ball carrier.
You know, listen, I would never want to block a defensive lineman. So, I've seen these guys. I know these guys. They're big and they're nasty. But at least from an offensive standpoint, you have to try to get in their way.
2nd down, 10 yards to go. Ball on their own 42.
Tennessee. Regular. 180. Check, 66.
Back to throw. Short throw to the right. Tackled at the 48-yard line. Smith made the catch for a gain of 6. The defense lines up in the nickel. Carolina using an audible. He drops back. Strong throw. He's tackled at the 44-yard line. That one worked pretty well.
It sure did, and I wish all our fans could see what's happening down the field on all our television broadcasts, because so much of the game now is won and lost in the secondary.
Delhomme to the air on 1st down. Knocked around the 34-yard line. A nice-looking play that time.
Yeah, when you see the blitz, you have to understand your own protections, because if your protection is sliding away from the blitz, you have no choice but to get it out of there to the hot receiver.
44 press. Hey, come on.
Fullback handoff. It's a fumble. Williams grabs it up. That was a fortunate bounce for the offense.
Every once in a while, you just have to have a little luck, and they're lucky to get that one back.
Carolina changing their play. The Panthers call for a timeout, and they'll have 2 remaining. 2nd and 7. A minute left in the half. They give it to the tailback. And they get him around the 26-yard line. Williams comes away with around 5 yards on the misdirection run. They motion to the right. He's looking to throw. Looking for a receiver. Makes the grab. And he's knocked out around the 13-yard line. That was a good-looking throw.
Yeah, great throw, but maybe even a better read. He understood by watching what the defense did after the snap of the football exactly where to go with that ball.
Delhomme is looking to stay perfect on this drive. And it's completed. Tackled around the 7-yard line. About 6 yards on the play.
Little out route against zone coverage. Typically, zone coverages will give you that almost all the time. They're more defending the deep pass.
The Panthers will take their last timeout. The offense sets up 7 yards away. And it splits the uprights. And we'll take a quick look at the drive summary. Kicks it off. And he'll return this one from the 7. Flag on the play. And that flag was thrown in the area of holding.
Holding by the receiving team. First down.
They'll set up shop at the 17. Redmond comes up to the line. 3 wide receivers split out wide. Straight ahead with a fullback. He's tackled around the 18-yard line. That'll be it for the first half of play. Our halftime score is the Falcons 16, the Panthers 9. Here's the kick. Fielded at the 4. They can't bring him down. He's hammered at the 31. So before the offense hits the field, let's take the time to let you know that our game is brought to you by EA Sports. The backfield is in the offset I formation. Williams on the run. He's brought down at the 35. Williams gains about 4 yards on the play. Second down, 6 yards to go. Ball on the 35. The Falcons bring in the nickel package. They hand it off again. He gets out to about the 38-yard line. A pickup of about 3.
Very effective call that time by the defensive coordinator, bringing the outside linebacker, a terrific way to give your defense some help in stopping the run.
Again, he'll get the call. And they get him at the 43-yard line. It looks like he just made it.
And remember, those guys on the field can't see that yellow line, but sometimes they can feel it. That time, just enough for that first down.
He's tackled at the 48-yard line. 9-yard pickup.
Well, they brought the blitz that time. The offensive line did a pretty good job recognizing it. They got the blocks, but the back was still able to get out of there for a nice gain.
He's looking to throw. Makes the throw out to his right. Stiff arms, and he's brought down.
I don't know of any receiver in the game that entertains me more than Steve Smith. Yeah, he has the great speed and he has great playmaking ability, but how many times have we seen guys get hold of this little tiny guy and think they've got him on the ground, and Steve Smith just punches him in the mouth and fights him off and takes off down the field? I think he is an incredible talent.
He's there for the catch. Brought down at the 23-yard line. Pretty nice read on that play to find the open man.
Yeah, the two of them really have been working hard, building a rapport in practice, and now you're starting to see some of those results out here on the field.
Regular.
Williams gets the carry. Tackled about the 15-yard line. And they have a pretty nice drive going.
And the most important part of it is they've been able to get it done on the ground. Now that's 5 rushes so far in this drive and a first down.
He's hammered in the backfield. Nice job by the defensive end to get in there and get the tackle for the loss.
This guy's really one of the strengths on this defense. Not only is he able to turn the corner and get some pressure on the quarterback, but he's rock solid against the run.
Regular. 180.
Another run. And they get him at the 17. Williams comes away with 2 yards on the carry. They come out in a nickel. He drops back with the throw. Right through his hands. He almost had the pick. The quarterback's just relieved that one wasn't picked off.
You're right, Tom. He knows he just got away with one there. That's a ball he should have never thrown.
And he makes it. Pretty good kick that time, and he drives it home for 3 points. Nice job. And here's the kick. Norwood fields it at the 3. Dropped at the 22-yard line. So as the offense heads back onto the field, we'll take this time to remind you that our game is brought to you by EA Sports. If it's in the game, it's in the game. Play fake. Passes to his left. Brought down around the 25-yard line. Not much of a gain at all on that first down completion.
Pretty tough sometimes when a quarterback is looking at his first read, it's not there. The second read is there, but he knows his guy is going to get hit immediately afterwards, and that's what happened there. They took away the first and second read.
He's dropped at the 29-yard line. The halfback gets the ball and picks up 5. The offense needs about 3 yards to get the first here on third down. Atlanta comes out in the shotgun. Goes through his read. Rifles it to the middle. And they get him at the 43-yard line. The defense was looking run, and they threw it for a big gain.
Well, when you have a talented running back like this, you always have to account for him. That time, a nice play-action pass opened it up down the field.
Looks to pass. Redmond can't escape the pressure. They're going to need to tighten up their blocking, or this could turn out to be a very long game for the quarterback.
No kidding. I'd hate to be that quarterback right now. Clearly, this offense is having trouble recognizing the blitz, and even if they do recognize it, they can't block it.
Looking to throw. He throws on the run. And he's decleated at the 49-yard line. Strong, accurate throw leads to a pretty good gain.
Now, they didn't pick up the first down that time, but you drop back, you make a good throw like that. Now you're in position to try and pick up this first down.
Pitch out. Gains his way to the 40-yard line. They get it again on third down.
And that can really begin to deflate a defense when those third down conversions keep coming. You can almost taste the water on the sideline, thinking you're about to get off the field, and then they convert another first down.
He'll get the call again. Brought down at the 35. Turner gains around 5 yards on the draw play. 2nd down and 5 to go. This is the 8th play of this drive. Atlanta comes out with 3 receivers in the shotgun.
Blue 45! Blue 45! Get over there, baby.
They go with the fullback. Tackled at the 33-yard line. They pick up 2 yards, and so it'll be 3rd down. Facing another 3rd down situation, they've converted 2 so far on this drive. Little handoff. And they get him around the 30-yard line. And they get no push from the offensive line.
Oh, yeah, they did. They were all moonwalking on that play. They were pushing. They were just pushing and going backwards.
Kick is up, and he got all of this one. This one will fall left. Coaching staff won't be very happy after that miss. They brought him in for the specific purpose of making those kinds of kicks, and a few more of those misses, he might want to start looking to pack up his house because he might just be out of a job. So the score is still the Falcons 16, the Panthers 12.
Come on, lock him down. King's right.
They'll give it off here. Cuts by the defender. He doesn't get back to the line. That was a big-time play by a big-time athlete.
If you want to be considered one of the top quarterbacks in the National Football League, everybody has to be able to cover. But the top guys can not only cover, but come up and make big hits like that. Tremendous play.
They hand it off. He's brought down around the 39-yard line. Williams gets 3 yards on the play. Stewart lines up as the deep back, high formation. He drops back. Gets the pass off. Brought down right around the 40-yard line. And for as good of a catch as that was, this offense now has to deal with a 4th down. Baker is waiting for the snap. Gets the punt away. Jennings fields it at the 22. He's dropped around the 30-yard line. Once again, we'll take this opportunity to remind you that this game is brought to you by the fine folks at EA Sports. Single set backfield. Play fake. On the run, he throws it. Excellent open field tackle. Just a short, efficient throw that time.
Yeah, a true sign of patience on the offensive side. You let the play develop. You find the open receiver. Maybe he takes a look down the field. It's not there. Just go ahead and take that safe throw.
Redmond looking to throw. Throws on the run. He's brought down at about the 49-yard line. That pass is good for a 1st down.
And he had some zip on that one, didn't he? He reared back and threw that one about as hard as he could.
Redmond will come to the line with a 3-wide formation. Hartsock in motion. Back to pass. Throws it short. Completed. And he's knocked out around the 31-yard line. Another completed pass puts him over the 300-yard mark.
And you know, this guy just loves to play football. I really like talking to him before the game. You can hear the passion in his voice. And when you have a leader that has that kind of passion and that kind of emotion, it's just so much easier to play the game.
He's tackled around the 27-yard line. 4-yard gain. That'll bring up 2nd down. It's 2nd and 6 coming up. They'll come out with bunch formation. returner gets the carry. He fights forward to about the 23. 3 yards on the run. 3rd down and 2. Ball on the 23-yard line. Redmond is under center. They'll come up in an I this time. Play action. He's under pressure. Threw it right to him, but he can't hang on. The defender got there in time to break that play up.
He did. He was able to get his hands on the ball, but if he had missed that one might have turned into a really big play.
The set down. The kick is up. It's got the distance. And here's your drive summary for that last series. And here's the kick. He'll return it from the 3. He's tackled at the 31. Their last drive ended with a 3 and out. They'll start this drive at the 31. 1st and 10. Looks like 3 wideouts this time.
188! 188! Let's go, fellas. Let's go. Red ball, red ball, red ball.
They'll throw on 1st down. It's incomplete. Muhammad was unable to make the catch on that pass attempt. Williams lines up as the deep back, I formation. Delhomme calls for motion left.
Go. Go make this run, baby.
Delhomme takes it back. Defense closing in. Sacked. Delhomme couldn't escape the pressure and got dropped for a loss on that play. Delhomme is under center. Only one in the backfield this time. Under heavy pressure. Interception. Inside the 30. He's dropped around the 20-yard line. And the safety made a really nice play on the ball to grab that interception.
You know, this safety is known for his big hits, but that time it was his soft hands that made the difference.
Redmond gives it left. They'll get in for the touchdown.
How about that little juke in the middle of that move? That's just a one-on-one athletic play that time. That was fun to watch.
And here's the extra point. The snap, set down, the kick is up. Extra point is good. Kicks it off. Gathered at the 6. Dropped at the 27. So before the offense hits the field, let's take the time to let you know that our game is brought to you by EA Sports. Offset I formation in the backfield. Fakes the run. And it's caught. He took a shot at the 37. Nice pass play.
It really was in the 80s that we first started seeing offenses throwing the ball to the fullback. You know, for so many years, those guys were just big blockers.
Williams on the inside handoff. What a hit. I don't think he even saw that guy. Tried the run, but there was nothing available.
And if you could make a running back hesitate just a little, that time you could see there really was no hole, and the running back was just fishing for a place to go.
180! 180! Let's go!
Williams on the handoff. Brought down behind the line. A great defensive effort there.
Did you see how fast that linebacker was on that one? Not only did he recognize it, but when he did recognize it, he had the explosiveness to get there.
Regular. Don't let your man. 188. 188. Lou. Let's hit him in the mouth.
He drops back to pass. Scans the field. Catches made. Brought down at the 45. Nice pass, but not enough for the first. That'll bring up 4th down.
Pretty nice play that time. They picked up some good yardage, but they lost the battle on 1st and 2nd down and left themselves in 3rd and long. Just too much to overcome.
Gets his leg into it, and he got a huge punt here. This one's going to be down in the end zone for a touchback. They were able to put together a nice drive on their last possession. They'll be looking to make it 2 in a row on this drive. Atlanta lines up with 3 receivers. There's a play fake. Pass is complete. He's brought down around the 48-yard line. The wide receiver and the quarterback are on the same page today.
Yeah, and this wideout really is something special. He's able to find the holes in the coverage. He gets good separation, and he has tremendous hands.
Milner in motion. And it looks like we have a flag down on the play. And this one looks like it's going to come back.
Holding. Offense.
And I really didn't see the hold there.
Honestly, Tom, there is holding on every single play. I mean, the rule changes now allow for the guys to grab, but you have to keep inside the framework of the defensive player. As long as you do that, it typically doesn't get called. It did there.
Marshall knocks it down, and it's batted away at the last minute by the defender.
Just fast defense and a good play.
Quarterback is in the gun. He has 3 receivers in the formation. Looking to throw. Looking for a receiver. Tight coverage, and it's picked off.
Let's go, man.
He threw that thing into heavy coverage.
And sometimes when you have a quarterback that has a really strong arm, they think they can do things that they simply cannot. You cannot force that football into that kind of coverage in this league.
Fakes to the back. Hackett was unable to make the catch on that pass attempt. They line up at the 43. Williams lines up as the deep back, I formation.
Regular. Come on. Red ball. Under. Let's go quick games. 44.
Here's the halfback. And they get him around the 37-yard line. A 7-yard play, and that makes it 3rd down. 3rd down, 3 to go. Delhomme comes up to the line. 3 wide receivers split out wide. Throws it. Tipped pass and picked off. Nice pick for the safety.
You could see the quarterback that time trying to look the safety off, but this safety is simply too smart. He was having none of it and jumped in front to make the interception.
Play action. Dumps it out left. It's tipped away. They can't complete the pass, and now the offense will be looking at 2nd down. 2nd down, 10 yards to go. Ball on the 27-yard line. Redmond is lined up under center. He has 2 tight ends. He fakes it. He throws it. Johnson bats it down. The defender was able to get a hand on it.
And really, that came as a result of pretty physical play at the line of scrimmage. They're banging these guys around and not letting them get into their routes.
Drops back to pass. Throws while on the run. He's dropped at the 32-yard line. Well, the pass was completed. They'll still be short of the marker.
You know, I just don't like that stuff, Tom. I call that chicken offense. You know, you go out there and you act like you're afraid. You're afraid to throw an interception. You're afraid to go for it down the field. You just settle and you bring the punter out. I don't like that.
Punts it. Robinson takes it at the 32. He makes a move, and he's brought down. The quarterback leads his offense back onto the field after turning it over on their last drive. Williams lines up as the deep back, I formation. Williams on the run. And he just got hammered. He gains a couple of yards on the carry.
Not very often in a game does a defender get a clean shot like that on a running back. Typically, the running back didn't see it coming to take that kind of a shot.
Delhomme calls for motion left. Williams gets the call again. He's brought down right around the 42-yard line. Passing in this situation seems like it would have been a better idea.
Passing in every situation seems to me like it would be a better idea, but when you have the clock working against you like this, it's time to put it up.
And he catches it. What a brutal hit. He shows no hesitation and gets it in there to get the first down.
Yeah, you wouldn't hesitate either if you were standing back there in the pocket. I say the heck with it. Get it out of there fast. Let somebody else handle it for a little while.
180. Tennessee. Watch the slam backside. I want the screen.
He looks to throw on first down. Short throw to the left. And it's knocked down. Not a good pass that time, Chris. He forced it right into the coverage.
Whoa, that was really lucky that one wasn't picked off. Not a good decision at all there.
Stay on side. Regular. 188. Let's go. Make a stand, G.
He drops back to pass. Gets the throw away. And the pass is incomplete. The quarterback really felt the pressure on that last play.
Yeah, it just didn't give him time to go through his reads. Clearly the first guy was not open, but he tried to throw it anyway and almost got picked off.
Drops back to pass. Short pass to his left. He's dropped in the open field. The defense was right there to bring him down just about as soon as he made the catch on that one.
Clever play that time defensively. It looked like he was going to be open quickly for the catch and the first down. They closed in, made the tackle, and that brings up fourth down.
Delhomme looking to throw. The pass is away. Brought down at the 33. They'll keep the drive alive with that great pass for a first down.
It is so hard to complete passes like that on fourth down because there's no mystery about what you're going to have to do. And especially in those long yardage situations, you have to execute perfectly, and that's exactly what they did.
He's dropped at the 20, and that was a nice job to pick up the first down.
Nothing makes a defensive coordinator cringe more than seeing that kind of run because then it sets up the play action, and there's almost no way to stop an offense if you can't stop the run and you have to deal with play action.
Play action. Throws the bullet across the middle. The pass was deflected and swatted away by the defender.
I think the quarterback may have had to throw that ball a little sooner than he wanted to. The pressure was starting to get there.
Delhomme hands it off. He gets out to about the 18-yard line. A yard, maybe two, on the carry. That'll bring up third down with 8 yards to go. Lining up with 3 wide. 188. Delhomme drops back to pass. Goes through his read. There for the catch. He gets knocked out of bounds at the 14. They were able to complete the pass on the play, but they'll still end up short of the first down.
And it's really up to the receiver in that situation to try and split the defenders. He has to find a way to duck a shoulder, to roll his head, to do something to, yes, they got the tackle, but they got it while I was still moving forward and able to pick up the first down.
Drops back, gets the pass away, and it's incomplete. They'll go to work at the 14. 2 tight end set. Redmond gives it up the middle. He fights forward to around the 16. Over 100 yards rushing, and he still doesn't quit, does he, Chris?
No, not that I can tell. I think this guy's in the kind of shape where he could play another game after this one and maybe even another game after that. His stamina is really what sets him apart. I've seen this guy work out. It is simply remarkable.
They give it to the tailback. Tackled at the 17. 1 yard on the play.
And Tom, that was because the defense filled up all the gaps. The back was looking for somewhere to run, but by bringing the run blitz, they took away all the holes and stopped them for a minimal gain.
Looking to throw. He throws on the run. He's brought down around the 29-yard line. Good gain on the pass to the running back.
It's tough to pay too much attention to a running back in the passing game because at least half the time they're staying in the block. So when they do slip out, occasionally they can hit you for a big play.
Handoff on the draw. He'll be brought down behind the line of scrimmage. May want to dump that one.
Yeah, I think that one's already in the trash can. You probably won't see that one run again. But I will say this, that penetration does that to any offense, and that time they just got in the backfield.
Looks to pass. He's tackled around the 25-yard line. Not much on that play. So another third down upcoming for the offense. Offset I formation in the backfield. Sets up the play action. Comes down with it. Tackled at the 39-yard line. Great time for that type of pass. It worked to perfection.
And that was a nice job by the offensive line, allowing the quarterback enough time to survey the field and find the open guy.
Feeds it to the back. Man, this guy is quick. Brought down at the 44-yard line. Look at him go.
You know, scoring 20 touchdowns is impressive anytime you do that, but I think it's particularly impressive in this day and age when most teams are throwing the football more than they're running it. But when you get this kind of a player, you feed him the ball and you let him go.
Here's the throw. He's dropped at the 43-yard line. Nice little pitch and catch with the wideout.
Patience for a wide receiver is just so key. He's able to manipulate that defense, set him up one play, come back with the exact same look, and break off of it the next. Beautifully run.
On the ground with a tailback. And they get him at the 38. They get around 5 yards from the halfback. 2nd down and 5. And this is the 10th play of the drive. The backfield is in the offset I formation. Fakes to the back. And he hasn't missed a pass yet. Nice job by the quarterback to hit the tight end for a decent gain.
You know, tight ends may not come up with those real explosive plays down the field all the time, but they sure are a nice target for the quarterback.
Turner gets another carry. And he's hammered at the 20. Turner gains about 2 yards on the run. We're at the 12th play of the drive. Redmond comes to the line under center. 3 wide receivers. Hands it to the back. And he's drilled at the 19. Turner gains about a yard on the play.
Man, oh man, that's what those defensive guys live for right there. A shot like that, and then they always get up and have a little something to say to you as you're going back to the huddle.
Redmond drops back to pass. He hasn't missed a pass on this drive. Finally make the tackle, and it will be 1st and goal. Another solid gain through the air by the quarterback. He's up over 400 yards now.
And you can almost see the smoke coming out of the back of the ball when he throws it. This guy has plenty of velocity. We talked to some of the receivers and sort of joking around about, oh, come on, you can catch the ball. You got the gloves. You got all the stuff. And one of them laughed and said, hey, you try it. This guy brings it.
He stopped short of the line on the play.
I don't think they fooled anybody on the defense with that one. They were just sitting out there waiting for it, and that's a loss.
Again with the run. Tackled around the 6-yard line. That's a 2-yard gain.
And that's why you send all those guys to plug up the holes, and that time there were no holes, really, and he was lucky to get anything on the play.
Redmond back to pass. He's been perfect on this drive. Makes the reception. And he scores. What a play! That was just a well-executed pass right there.
Well, as a receiver, you're going to get banged around a little bit down here on the goal line, but this is a big, stout guy with good, strong hands, and that was a nice catch.
And the point after is good. Here's a quick look at the drive summary. And here's the kick. Stewart takes it at the 4. Brought down at the 30. So as the offense heads back onto the field, we'll take this time to remind you that our game is brought to you by EA Sports. If it's in the game, it's in the game.
Regular.
He looks to throw on 1st down. Strong throw to his left. He's tackled at the 42. You know, it's really easy to overlook those big guys on the line, but they did a good job picking up the blitz there.
Yeah, that's a great call, Tom, because when you get a blitz package like that and your offensive line can first of all figure it out and then get it blocked, it's very tough to cover one-on-one in the secondary.
Delhomme hands it off. Stiff arms, and the defender still makes the tackle. 6-yard pickup, and that will bring up 2nd down. So 2nd down now. The offense needs about 4 for the first.
Regular.
Looks to pass. Guns it to the middle. He's brought down right around the 44-yard line. Jarrett comes away with 7 yards on the reception. That will also give them a new set of downs to work with.
And that one keeps this drive going. Nice play that time by the quarterback and the receiver.
He'll get the call again. He didn't get back to the line. He was caught with nowhere to go.
This is a pretty good running back, and if you can hem him up like that, pretty impressive.
The backfield is in the offset I formation. And the ref blows this one dead.
False start, offense.
He moved a little early on that one.
I used to always think that offensive linemen should go to the line of scrimmage and hold up either one finger or 2 fingers and look down when they get confused.
Let's go. Regular. Quick games, 44 screw. 180. Let's go.
Drops back to pass. Looking for an open man. Oh, and he dropped it. What a play by the defender.
And the quarterback really caught a break on that one, that wasn't intercepted.
After the game for the official team.
Atlanta lines up in a dime defense here.
Regular. Check, 66. 3-7, fullback gap. Watch the draw.
Looks to pass. On the run, he throws it. He's dropped around the 43-yard line. The third down pass got them good yardage, but not quite enough to convert.
Yeah, that was a tough third down situation. They got the good completion, a good gain on the play, but probably asking too much out of the receiver to try and break that many tackles to pick up that first down.
Drops back. Fires it right. Tackled at the 31. That's a great fourth down conversion.
Yeah, but you don't want to make a living on fourth down. You'd like to execute a little bit better on the first 3 downs. Let's see what they can do here.
Hey, we got to watch the ball, y'all. One's a hard count. Raider.
Toss. Loose football. Houston recovers the loose ball. And that was not a good time for a fumble.
Well, there's really never a good time for a fumble, but you can tell that he just got sloppy with that football. He broke down on his fundamentals, and he gave it up.
There's a play fake. Short throw to the right. Brought down at the 27-yard line. They hook up for a pretty good gain on that one. Nice pass.
Yeah, good pass and good confidence by the quarterback there. He saw the opening. He knew there was a spot that he could get that in there, but you could see he had the confidence to let this receiver make a play, and that's really what pro football is all about.
Hey, let's go. Hey. Regular. Let's go. We're going to run. Hey, defense, get low. Right. Close right. Come on, let's go. Come on now. Rush the reverse. We got close left.
Redmond hands it off straight ahead. He's dropped at the 38. After that run, they might want to give him the ball a few more times.
I agree. It looks like the defense is a little tired out there. Whatever the case, they're having a tough time now stopping the run.
Buffalo. Tiger.
2 minutes left in the ball game.
We good. They don't know when to get loud.
They line up at the 38.
Empty. Watch the back. Whoever got the back. Dre's line. Good, yeah. Let's get up. Hey, inside. Hey.
Again with the run. And they get him around the 42-yard line. He picks up 4 yards on the carry. They line up at the 42. The backfield is in the offset I formation.
Left. Green 88. No, you're good. 88. Who's left? Hit him in the mouth. Rush. Close left. Zebra. Roger. Go fill the gap. Let's go, guys. Come on. Hey, nasty. Regular. Oh, we got bark. Hey, never quit, fellas. Hey, you get ready to play some D, baby. Numbers. Overwatch, red man.
Fakes to the back. And the pass is knocked away. And for some reason, they passed the ball, and that will stop the clock. Not sure what they were thinking.
Well, just about the time you were thinking they were going to try and run this clock out, they go out and they're aggressive, but now the clock stops.
Let's go. We're talking about breathing. Tiger.
He wasn't set when he threw. Tipped pass. And the pass will fall incomplete. Fourth down coming up.
And those are the kind of big third down plays you have to have on defense to get the ball back and give your team a chance on offense.
He gets it away. It'll go out at the 33. Once again, we'll take this opportunity to remind you that this game is brought to you by the fine folks at EA Sports.
Regular. 180. That's right, Lucy. 180. Turn over, G. Ringo.
He looks to throw on first down. With the catch. He's tackled at the 42. The defense was coming with a heat on that play.
Well, the defense was in zone coverage. They got good pass protection, and anytime that happens, it tends to really stretch those zones and widen the holes.
Here we go. That's hot then.
First down, looking to throw. Fires it out. It's completed. Tackled at the 26-yard line. The Panthers will take their first time out of the half. First down now and 10 to go. DeLome with 4 wide receivers. He looks to throw on first down. Brings it in. And they get him at the 16. Gain of 9. That'll make it second down. DeLome lines up under center. 4 receivers in the formation. Throws on the run. He's in. Touchdown. Outstanding play to the wide receiver as he took it the distance.
Well, that's just a big-time pitch and catch right there. The quarterback made a beautiful throw, but it was the route by the wide receiver that set it up. He was as open as I've seen all afternoon.
Here's the point after. Point after is good. And now we'll take a quick look at the drive summary. Not a bad kick. Norwood from the 6. Dropped at the 31. The defense could do no wrong the last time this team had the ball. It's first and 10. Ball on the 31. The backfield is in the offset I formation. Turner gets the carry left side. He's dropped at about the 31. Maybe a yard on the run by the halfback. We should just see the quarterback take a knee right here, winding down the rest of this clock. They go with the kneel down. 3rd and 11 coming up here. Ball on the 30-yard line. And this one's over. Our final score is the Falcons 33, the Panthers 19.